All right, welcome back. We are going to go ahead and start mixing up some vocals today in our console. I apologize for any of the volume issues that we've been having. It is not StudioOne, just as a heads up. I am using a different setup for the recording and not StudioOne, which might be a part of the problem. I'm mixing all of this into a video software later on and combining it. So if there are video or sound issues, it's me still trying to learn how to use the mixing board along with the video software. We will get that down eventually. All right, so what we're going to start doing is we're going to definitely work on the main vocal today. And one of the things that I would definitely like to start with is just getting all the plugins on the track. So we hit the little plus button up top of your vocal main. And we're going to scroll down, or you can type in the bar up here, Pro EQ. We're just going to X out of it for right now, and we're going to turn it off. And then we're going to go back in and find Fat Channel. And we are not going to turn it on yet, and then we're going to go and click on FET. And turn it off. And then we're going to add another instance of the Fat Channel. And it's going to be a compressor as well, but it is going to be the tube compressor. We're going to add that to the chain and shut it off. And then we're going to go ahead back in. We're going to find a saturator. Which might take me a few seconds actually to find, because I don't use it all that much. Alright, we're going to click on Red Light District and shut that off for now. And that is going to currently be our vocal chain for the moment. If we're using StudioOne stock artist plugins, which is what I would like to do, this is the vocal chain that I would start with. Just because of the limit of the plugins. If we had more options for plugins, I might add a little bit more. But right now, this will get you a good percentage to where you need to be. And then, you know, from later on, we'll go ahead and add more as we expand our library of plugins. But for right now, we're going to use these 4 plugins. And we're going to X out of that. And we're going to start playing our track. And I'm going to turn on my Pro EQ. And double click it to bring it up. And right now, there's nothing on it. And we've mentioned before on this channel that we're just going to be using as many presets as we can. The EQ is going to be one of the ones that we use a preset on, just to get you going. And then the Fat Channel 1 and 2 will most likely not be presets. They will most likely be tuned, fine-tuned the way we want them. And then the Red Light District will be, we'll find out, I guess, here in a bit. I haven't decided yet. So we're going to hit play on our track. We're going to pull this down. We're going to find our vocals. And we're just going to scroll through them until we hear one that sounds, you know, relatively good. Right, so I ended up deciding to do Male Rock Vox 2 preset for this one. And then we're going to turn on the top fat channel, double click to bring it up. And it's a lot like the drum kit. However, the first one I keep it on 4-4 or 4-1, and these will stay the same. That's fine. We are going to adjust until our peaking number is give or take in between the 7 and 10 here on the VU meter. And then the next one we do will be a light compression. But the first one is typically, for me, a heavy compression. So we're going to scroll through the song and try to tighten up some of the compression. It helps if you turn it on. Alright, that's looking good. Let's bring up some of the output. Okay, and the next one, we're going to turn that on and hit the power button. That's my bad. It happens sometimes. So the gain knob is fine right around the middle for right now. We're going to mainly... This is Tube Comp. Another one from the FET channel line. And I like this one for light compression, not necessarily the heavy, thick stuff. We're going to ignore the key filter because we don't really need that for what we're doing. Most of our work is going to be done here on this peak reduction. And it's going to start peaking the level. And we're trying to get it right around the 3 mark as a light compressor. And then from there, that's when we'll use the gain knob to kind of turn it up and get the volume about where we would want it in a mix.
Don't think you believe me. I would have wished you well, but I don't think you believe me. I would have wished you well, but I don't think you believe me. I would have wished you well, but I don't think you believe me.
Okay, that's sounding pretty alright. So the next one, we're going to use the red light district as a saturation. We don't really have that many options in StudioOne as a preset or a standard plugin, except for red light district. There's a few free ones that would help out in this situation, but we're only using the plugins that we get from StudioOne today. And what kind of presets do we have? We might roll through these, and if something sounds good, we'll keep it. But if not, we might go through some of the options here instead. We'll see which one sounds the best. And you don't need a lot of this. So once you get a decent sound that you would like, we're probably going to turn it down significantly, because we're only looking for like a little bit, just a little bit of distortion. Okay, we're going to use this one as a bass, just dirty. And we're going to mess around with a couple of the things. First thing I would like to mess with is to turn that down to stage 1 instead of stage 3. See how it sounds? We're going to change the type of tubing as well. Let's try hard tube first. Still a little too harsh. Let's try a soft. Okay, and we're going to turn down the drive a little bit. Bring up the out a little bit. Okay, and that's sounding pretty okay to me. Alright, so once we've got those done and we're pretty satisfied with it, we're going to go ahead and start on the backing vocals, which is not going to be much. We're going to add to each of them a Pro EQ, and if you want to do the same plugin for another track, you can just click it on one track and drag it over, and it'll duplicate all the settings for you. And then we're going to get a fat channel for this as well. And just the tube comp, because we're not going for a lot of compression. We're going to drag that over too. And that's it for the backing vocals. For me, that's typically the way I would do it. So we're going to listen to them, see how they sound. Okay, and then we're still on these tube comps. We're just going for looking for that 3 mark on the VU meter again. So we're going to do that to each of the tracks. Okay, left side sounding pretty good, and we got a peak of 44 and a gain of 40. So we're just going to go over and type in 44 and 40. Okay, and that's pretty much, for a basic mix, that's pretty much all you really need to do. So we're going to go ahead and turn these down again. Just the vocals, because the instrumental still sounds pretty okay. to me. If your instrumental doesn't sound okay, then by all means turn everything back down and level out just like you did in the previous episode, so that it all sounds even to you. And we're going to hit play and realign the vocals to where we think it sounds good in the mix again. Okay, and that's sounding pretty okay to me. So I think we're going to call it for the vocals being mixed, quote unquote, at least for the basics and learning how to get your DAW going and working for you, and you working with your DAW in the best possible way that you can. So the next one, we will go back into the mixer and start learning how to master it a bit, just a little bit. Just enough to get your vocals, or not your vocals, your entire mix to a loudness that you're happy with, and that you can export and share with your friends, and it doesn't sound too quiet or too off to the people listening to it or who needs to listen to it. So for this one, that's about it, and I'll see you next week.